What's up, guys? Before we begin this podcast, I want to let you know that we are Patreon. We have bonus episodes of Going Deep with Chad and JT, the classic solo Chad and JT episodes. We're bringing it back, baby. Become a patron at patreon.com/ChadGoesDeep. We also have upcoming tour dates. We're going to be at the Irvine Improv next Wednesday, April 6th at 8 p.m. Get your tickets for that show and all upcoming tour dates at chadjt.com. We're also about to be at the Legends at Coinbase, what up? Guys, do you identify as crypto curious? If you thought about entering the world of cryptocurrency but felt a little overwhelmed, Coinbase makes learning to buy and sell simple. For a limited time, new users get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/go deep. Sign up at coinbase.com/go deep for $10 in free Bitcoin. We're also about to be at Legends at Manscaped. Manscaped, thank you so much for keeping our trims peeled, for looking after our hogs, for making sure their dinks are looking fresh and clean, because every year in the NFL, we look for a locked-in generational player. But a sure thing like Quentin Nelson doesn't come each draft. The only true guaranteed quality pickup this season is Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming, the best coaches always think ahead, so make sure you bell check your crotch garden before it gets more out of hand than the Jets' O-line. With Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, your skill position will be sleek and smooth enough for a sub 4.3 40. Support us and head to manscaped.com. Use the exclusive code GODEEP at checkout for 20% off plus free shipping. Let's start the show.
If you need advice, these guys are really nice. You want to know what to do and where to go when you need someone to guide you. It's nice to have those beside you.
Tickle my taint and tell me it's Tuesday. What's up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with the Going Deep with Chad and JT podcast. I got my compadre, Sean Thomas. What up?
Boom clap, Stokers.
And we're here with our guest, Will Forte. Thank you for coming on the pod.
Hello, thank you for having me on the pod.
We're fired up, dude. This is huge.
Yeah. I got to start off by so in our podcast, we do a quote of the week at the end. And for the past few months, every quote has been from MacGruber.
What are some of the quotes?
Like, it's been a fucking asshole of the day. What else? Whenever I get asked this question, I can't remember.
You did the coffee one last week with the tea.
Oh, the Tazo tea.
Tea.
Yeah.
Well, to this day, that was my buddy John Solomon was the one who pitched the Tazo tea thing. So every time I see Tazo tea, I have to take a picture of it and send it to John immediately.
Yeah.
He just won a Writers Guild Award for he's a part of the group that writes I Think You Should Leave Now.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
It shows so amazing. So John Solomon, the three MacGruber writers, are John Solomon, Yorma Taccone, and me, and John and Yorma split all the directing duties.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're amazing, and they should be on here too. But I'll be their mouthpiece for any MacGruber related stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies. In college, it was like our group of friends. It was our favorite movie that we just quoted all the time. And the one thing I love about it is it seems like you really made the movie that you wanted to make. Like, it seems like you took total sort of creative control and really sort of just put out something that you wanted to make.
No, we had all been in situations before where we got kind of forced to make changes to things. And so it was very, we went in hopeful that we would be able to not be jerked around like that again. And Lauren was just awesome. Lauren Michaels, the head of SNL, obviously, he basically kind of just, surrounded us and just kind of paved the way for this artistic freedom. And the budget was small enough so that we got kind of left alone, and a couple little things they were trying to get us to do, but Lauren helped us kind of just protected us, so we got to just do all the crazy stuff we wanted to do. I mean, the only restrictions were financial restrictions. The budget was only so big, so we had to change around a lot of stuff. But some of that stuff I think helped the movie. Like there was a much bigger scope scene, which cost too much money, so it ended up turning into that ripping the guy's throat out, the cup of water thing that where you think it's going to be this big trap, but it's the little Dixie cup of water falls down and you're all wet. And I think we were happy that with the shittier, less expensive version of that scene than whatever we were planning, which I can't even remember what it was now. But there were a bunch of little things like that. But other than that, they really let us, just left us alone. It was kind of the same thing with the new TV series. Like Peacock was awesome and very supportive of letting us just do crazy and pretty risque stuff.
Yeah, the show is so good. It was so not like I just spent the holidays watching it, and I was kind of wondering, like, were there any bits that you guys pitched or whatever that they rejected? They're like, that's way too, aside from the sort of financial restrictions, where they just like, that's way too out there, you guys can't do that?
Not really, because no, they were very supportive. I mean, we self-police ourselves pretty well. As fucked up as the thing is, we certainly want to be responsible, and we don't want to put anything out there that's that's offensive in a way that doesn't align with our core values, if that makes sense. I mean, I know that's weird to talk about with MacGruber, but I know there was there was something in the movie that there was the joke where we're going after the team, and I cross off the guy who's gay in the movie, and that always kind of stuck with me in a bad way. That's not how I feel as a person, but we kind of chose the joke over stuff. And if I could go back, I would take that out. So we were just a little more, careful with, stuff like that. Like we just wanted to make, because we knew that we could do stuff that was fucked up that also didn't, was true to, that didn't hurt any people for dumb reasons.
Yeah.
Right. That's tough too, because you could see MacGruber feeling that way, even if you don't necessarily feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of that's exactly. I think we justified it by saying, "Oh, well, MacGruber, MacGruber's offensive and offends a lot of people." So I think that's kind of why we were okay with it. But I don't know if I did it again. If we did it again, that wouldn't be in there.
I was wondering too. When
I got these two.
Yeah, they're on the pod.
They're awesome, but this guy's pretty mellow. This guy's okay. I'm gonna let him outdoors real quick.
Yeah.
There's a door right here. Just will shut him up. His name is Mudbutt.
Mudbutt?
Yeah, we my now wife and I, we were watching some kind of movie, and it was a bunch of dogs, and one of them we thought was named Mudbutt. So we were like, oh, that's the best name for a dog if we ever have another dog. Because we had the first dog, the mellow dog, Ross, his name Ross because she found him outside of Ross Dress for Less when he was a puppy. Somebody just like left him in a cardboard box and said, take me home. But Mudbutt, we said, oh, we gotta, if we ever get another dog. And then of course we kept watching the movie, and it became clear that his name was Mud Bud with a D. But we were like, nope, still got to be Mud Bud. Like it was so he's like 2 now, or two in a couple months, but still has that puppy dumbass energy.
Puppy energy. Do you think dogs like personalities fulfill their names? Like, do you think Ross acts more like a Ross and Mudbutt acts more like a Mudbutt?
There might be something to that. I mean, Ross is also old, and like, you know, if it was reversed and he was Mudbutt, he's getting to the age where there's probably some dog incontinence, which is going to set in. So that, you know, probably still would be true to the name.
That's good.
Maybe in our own brains, yeah, we probably like make those connections in our brains when you're calling the dogs that enough. But yes, I think there's something to that.
Nice. Where did you live before LA and before New York? Like before you got into entertainment?
I grew up in Northern California, outside San Francisco, about a half hour east, place called Lafayette and Moraga, and then went to UCLA in '88, and basically just kept moving further and further west until I ended up in Santa Monica, and then got the SNL job as I was living in Santa Monica, so would kind of go back and forth. And it wasn't just a year ago I moved to Mar Vista, so I had been in Santa Monica for like 25 years.
Was Troy Aikman the quarterback at UCLA when you were there?
He was the quarterback. He was a senior my freshman year, so we were #1 in the country for a little bit, and then it was so exciting, and then we somehow lost to Washington State, who I'm pretty sure was not very good at that time. So we got knocked out of #1, and then we lost to USC, I think, too. So we all these great hopes, and we took a tumble. Yeah.
And were you roommates or fraternity brothers with Matt Rice?
I lived. I was in a fraternity, and he was in the fraternity next door. So I was
cool.
a Chi Alpha. He was a ZBT, and so we got to know each other just from living for 4 years right next to each other. And then I started dating one of his best friends, this girl Amanda, and so we became better friends then. But yeah, he's my literary agent. So that was like I wouldn't have done anything in comedy if not for him, because he went into being an agent, and he was like, I started writing things, but had no confidence about them, and basically just said, oh, I know this guy who's a literary agent. Maybe I'll show him the stuff and see, and thank God he liked them, because if he had said he didn't like them, I probably just would have said, oh, I guess I shouldn't be doing this, and like, you know, move back up north. But and then it just so happened that he's an amazing agent, but back then he was just like an assistant to somebody, so I just got really lucky.
That's cool. And so you started writing on that. Was that 70s show your first gig, or were you like, and how did you break through into there, through like packets and all that kind of stuff?
My first job was the Jenny McCarthy sketch show on MTV, which was really fun. And like, do you know John Benjamin?
Yeah.
John Benjamin, he was one of the writers. So I've known him since '96 or whatever. And John Glazer,
yeah,
it was another one. And then a bunch of other fun writers. It was a great first job. And then I went from there I got to work at Letterman for a while, which was, you know, he's one of my heroes. So that was awesome. And then came back to LA and wrote it on a couple sitcoms, The Army Show, which was fun, but only lasted 13 episodes. Then a show called Action on Fox, which was
the Jay Moore Show.
The Jay Moore Show, yep. and
Where he plays like a
that
scuzzy producer.
yeah,
Yeah.
that only went 13 episodes, and then got to go over to Third Rock from the Sun, and for their last like 2 seasons before they ended the show by their choice, and then got to move over to 70 Show from there because it was the same producers, and they asked me to move over to 70 Show, and so that was where I was when I got a chance to audition for SNL.
And did you always have, like, when you sort of got into the business, did you have sort of acting aspirations, right? Like what did you see for yourself going in, or did you just want to do comedy in general?
Man, I think when I went in, I was thinking that I was thinking more about performing, but I wanted to do both. But then as I started getting writing jobs, I loved it. I loved that. That was fantastic. And then it seemed to make more sense in my life. Like, oh, maybe I'm just gonna just write, and that was totally fine. So this SNL audition thing really came out of nowhere and screwed up my whole head, because I was actually terrified, because the experience at Letterman, while I was super honored to get to write there, I didn't feel like I did a great job, and it was it wreaked a lot of psychological havoc because I was like, oh my God, I've got this great job at 70 Show. Do I take a chance to go to SNL and suck at it and then get fired? And then that's a second dream that's crushed. Like the first dream was like, go to, when I was going to Letterman, it was like, oh, do a great job at Letterman and be there for a long time. And, maybe become the head writer, who knows? Just, you're imagining just getting to work with one of your heroes. And while I did get to work with one of my heroes, I just didn't do a good job. So I left there like, oh, I freaking botched that one. So it was terrifying to think about blowing another one of these, lifelong dreams. But I auditioned. I ended up auditioning. I almost didn't even audition because I didn't want to, like, the 70 Show, as I had said before, like I was on all these shows that kept going 13 episodes and out. So we'd keep moving around, and 70 Show was the first one that I went to that was, I think they had just gotten picked up for 2 seasons. So, this job security, which I had never experienced. And it's like, am I gonna leave this show, which I feel so comfortable at and secure? And it was a super fun show to work at, and unusually good hours for a writing job. And so I got the job at SNL, but then turned it down the first season, just thinking, oh, I think I should take the safer route. And then thank God they came back the next year, and I just said, wait, hang on one second, let me let this dog back in. All right, come on.
Mud butt.
All right. So yeah, so then I ended up just going for it, and I'm so happy I did. It was a good life lesson to just not overthink stuff.
Yeah.
Well, when you turned it down and did you regret it, like that one year, like when you were watching SNL, where you're like, oh shit, I should be on there right now? Or did you kind of just move
yeah.
Right.
I mean, there was relief at first, because like I didn't have to do it. And I was, it was just a frightening thing to think about. Because I had been so I had just been off stage for a long time. I mean, I would do an occasional show at the Groundlings, but you got those writer schedules are pretty nuts. And our Friday, our tape nights for 70 Show were Fridays, so that basically took out any opportunity to do any of the Groundlings shows because you'd have to commit to several months of Friday and Saturday shows. So there are oh my God, these guys are they're going nuts today.
Mudbutt.
Actually, it's just Mudbutt. Ross is being an angel. And they just like there's this place that I'm staying at in Albuquerque is pretty big. They could like fuck around in any room.
They love you, dude.
They just want to be in this one.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh my God, I lost my track. So anyway, like I was the only times I get a chance to perform on stage would be during our hiatus. You'd have like 2 months of hiatus period before you'd get back into the next season. And so, I'd go do a show then, and just happened to Lauren. The story I always heard was that he was supposed to go to a wedding that somehow got canceled. So he'll send, like, back then it was Marcy Klein, now it would be Lindsay Trickus, but he'd send different representatives to see Groundling shows, or like, if they were in Chicago, they'd go see Second City or, UCB in New York. But this time he was actually at the show and I had a good show. And so we invited like 4 or 5 of us to audition. But I forget why I started talking about that.
Which, did you have to do impressions at the audition?
Yes.
Who
I
were-
remember why it was. It was to say that I was out of practice for acting stuff, so it was nerve-wracking. But yeah, so I think they say come in and do 3 impersonations, 3 characters, 3 original characters. But I'm not very good at impersonations, so I did 4 characters and 2 impersonations.
Who'd you impersonate?
I
won't make you do it.
Oh my God, I'm really bad. So I can't even remember the voice I did, but I did Martin Sheen. And
Nice.
I said like, "Hi, I'm Martin Sheen. I've had a little bit of a cold, so if I don't sound like myself, it's because of the cold. But if I do sound like myself, and just disregard." So you guys shut the. No, they're doing a squeak toy right here. Okay, but I'm gonna throw the squeak toy in the other room. Oh my God.
What are you working on out there?
I just got here. So we were here to make MacGruber, the TV show, over the summer. And Yorma stayed in this house that I would always bring the dogs to because the yard is big for the dogs. And then my fiance at the time, we threw together a last minute wedding and we got married in the backyard. So now I'm staying at his place here. And the movie I'm doing, it's called Coyote versus Acme.
Cool.
And it's I basically play Wile E. Coyote's lawyer through the Acme company.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
John Cena is the lawyer of the Acme company. So,
That'd be
Okay.
great.
yeah, it's really fun. And I just got to meet Lana Condor the other day, who will be working a bunch together. We're co-workers in this. So it's a fun group. I'm excited. But we start shooting it Monday.
Oh, you start shooting Monday. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
then, go ahead, JT.
no, you go down.
No, it's unrelated. Go ahead.
So you and John Cena, you guys are going head to head. Do you have like I know you can't spoil the movie, but is it like a classic kind of legal battle where you guys both have like big opening statements and closing statements, and you make like
As of now, there will be stuff like that in there. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say either. I can say that I've not met him yet. He's coming in like we're starting with I think he comes in about a week and a half. I'm excited to meet him. I've heard he's super cool, and I just got done watching Peacemaker, and it's so good.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen Peacemaker?
I gotta watch it.
Oh my God. if you like MacGruber, I think you'll really like Peacemaker. It it's totally different, but it feels like, I don't know, it felt like a, that kind of tone is kind
Yeah.
of what we were going for. It's really fun.
Have you been
I-
studying lawyers? Like, did you watch
them?
To Kill a Mockingbird? Are you like studying lawyers to get the that aspect of it in there?
No, I mean, I've seen To Kill a Mockingbird.
I've never seen it.
I just feel
know
like,
there's
over
lawyers
the
in it.
course of my life, wait, you've never seen To Kill a Mockingbird?
No, but it's a lawyer thing, right? Atticus
Yeah.
Finch.
Oh my God,
Right.
it's so good.
I would-
so good.
I'd probably watch like People vs. Larry Flynn. I think that's like if I was looking to lawyer up, or maybe My Cousin Vinny.
Oh my
But
There's so many. Somebody was just talking about The Verdict the other day, which is
that's a good one.
I've never seen it.
I've never finished it, but I've watched 10 minutes of it. I always watch. It's like
I
David
love that you
Mamet.
say that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep the ball
Never did.
rolling. I know it's like David Mamet and Sidney Lumet, so I'm like, oh, this must be amazing. But then
Yeah.
every time I put it on, I pass out before like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of times when you, over the course of your life, if you've seen enough of these movies, or just lived your life, and this by osmosis,
You
this
just
stuff
absorb
goes
it.
that you kind of know what a lawyer does, and then if they write the script well enough, it seems it's pretty obvious what you're supposed to do. And this was a case of them writing just doing a great job with their writing, so it's pretty laid out for you. But that's a good idea. I think I might. I mean, I want to watch The Verdict anyway, so maybe I'll watch that. Watch a couple lawyer things beforehand. But it's also like it's the whole thing is it's the the Looney Tunes world. So it's Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, and it's kind of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit type thing, where it's
Mix.
live action with animated stuff mixed in. It'll be really fun. It's I'm excited about it, but I've probably already said too much. I don't know. I do not want to get sued. I have not signed any kind of NDA, so I guess
Yeah.
will.
You can let us know afterwards if you said too much. We can
Yeah, we can
edit it out.
No. I think it's pretty. I even got nervous, like saying, "Can I say that John Cena's in this?" But then I remembered, like, John Cena was the first. Like, there was, I think, a big announcement that he was out there, and then when Lana and I joined on, I remember seeing something that announcement. So I think I'm safe.
Yeah, it seems to be a big thing in like, because we've dealt with that too in like Hollywood. It's like, what can you say about what you're working on? And then I get so paranoid about that stuff, because I'm like, can I even like say like this much or that? I just.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, shit. I understand. Like, I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Yeah.
When we did Last Man on Earth, I mean, nowadays spoilers are not as big a deal because so much stuff is streaming and it drops all at the same time. But like for a show like Last Man on Earth, or shows that still do drop weekly, just one episode per week, it was such a fight to keep your spoilers, because and I understand why Fox would always want to kind of ruin the spoilers, because they want the advertising for, they want the promo of saying, oh, this person's in the show, which it totally makes sense. But we would love for Last Man on Earth to not have, for people not to have any idea that like we got Will Ferrell in the show and to come and be pretty instantly killed. And then later Jack Black and John Hamm did the same thing, and Martin Short. And one of the things that, a lot of times that the reason they would do it is because you say, yeah, it's going to be a total surprise. We're not going to promote you all over the place. We just want people to just, always, for us, it's kind of fun for people to think, oh, if I watch this show, you never know when something's going to happen because they're not going to promote it. So Fox was probably right. We probably should have promoted it, because it would have helped the ratings, and we might have been able to keep going. But we got 4 seasons, but
Yeah,
It's a good run.
such a good show.
I appreciate spoilers.
Yeah. Is there a favorite type of character you like to play, or is there sort of an ideal character that you want to play in the future that you've always sort of dreamt about?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm geez, I don't know. I mean, I'd love the opportunity to try new things. That's really fun. But I guess the stuff that I am probably most comfortable playing are weirdo characters. Like, we just mentioned, I think you should leave now. That if you've seen that, I did this crazy character on an airplane. That seems like my kind of dude. Or back at SNL, the Hamilton or the
Hamilton's, yeah.
The guy that I got to do when I just got to go back and host, and I did this singing character with Kristen Wiig, Clancy T. Backlerat, and Jackie Snad, and just things like that are always fun for me. The weirdos with mustaches and no hair right up here, but long hair here.
Right.
That's kind of my ideal.
It's based around a haircut. Yeah, I like that. You can, that person, when you see someone with that hairdo, you are like, all right, there's a lot going on over there. This guy could go in a lot of different
I
directions.
want to take that person out to dinner and just say, okay, start from birth.
Can you pinpoint where those characters came from for you? Like why you have such an affinity for them? Like, is it like in contrast to who you actually are, or where does it come from?
I mean, I'm sure it's like immediately I go, oh yeah, it's nothing like me. But then I'm sure there are a ton of similarities. I don't know. I like weird stuff. I that's an interesting question because I don't know why or where it came from, but just over the years, I would say that anybody who's gone through the Groundlings or Second City, you just kind of do enough sketches that you are kind of naturally pulled in certain directions, and that was kind of the direction that I got pulled was weirdo, absurd guys.
And then when you're improvising from like as one of those characters, you go to such wild places, like in MacGruber when you do like the just tell me what you want me to fuck scene. Which is hilarious, one of my favorite scenes like ever. But like when you're doing that, is that what's on the page, or are you finding that as you're going?
That particular scene was all on the page.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How did you write that?
We just
talking.
Yeah, we just talk it through. I mean, there certainly there would be times when we'd improvise, but like we had enough time on that to write so that we could really get specific with what we were trying to. Oh my God, hang on one second. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're ruining the podcast. Go over there. Go over there. Oh my God. They don't, like, if I'm not doing this, they don't really do this unless they're doing something that I'd like to not be disturbed during.
Right.
They want attention.
Yeah, but no. That we don't have the schedule on MacGruber. We made that movie in 28 days. Like there was and we just got lucky that Yorma back then John although John went to film school and is a very talented director, he was Yorma got to direct the whole movie, and then John and Yorma split the series. But like Yorma did such a good job with this guy Brandon Trost, who was our our DP and figuring everything out. Like even despite a not huge budget, I felt like they made the movie look really expensive. They were going after like the old 80s action movie. Every scene the streets were wet. We'd have to wet down all the streets, and the rooms were always filled with smoke. Even if you're in a bank vault with no possible way to, like, it just, everything was smoked out. But anyway, so you had very little time to experiment. Now, that said, we would every once in a while do takes where you might have a little extra time to do a fun run and just kind of fuck around with stuff. But like we had to be aware that we didn't have a ton of time for each scene. We just had to go in knowing exactly what we wanted. And if you had extra time to improvise a little, that'd be great. So we that stuff is pretty written out.
The sex scenes are so iconic too in that movie.
Every grunt was written. Every grunt.
Wow.
Well, was that inspired by any particular movie, or how did you guys, or is that just something you had?
I went to my buddies Carrie and Kristen did this show called Campus Ladies. You remember that? I think it was on Oxygen. This was this would have been in like 2000, somewhere in the early going. Jonah Hill was on it. It might have been his first thing. That was first time I remember seeing him, but I got to meet him there. He's a very, very nice guy. But they did this show where they're these, moms going back to school, going back to college, and it's really fun. But anyway, I had to have an orgasm scene with one of them. So they said really go for it, and that was what ended up happening. So when we were doing a sex scene, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta call and ask them if it's okay to do that, and they said, oh yeah, go for it. So that was just kind of based on this thing I had done for Campus Ladies.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
it's so fun. And then the villain names too. Like, did you guys go into writing this series knowing that you wanted the villain to be Queeth, or did you workshop that?
We had a lot, like pretty soon after the movie bombed at the box office, and we regrouped, me and John and Yorma, and said, like, you know what? Let's make sure that this is not the last chapter in this book. Let's I don't know, who knows how we're going to do it. But let's make sure that we do the group again. We're proud of it, and we stood by it. It was like, you know what? Fuck this. We like this, and we think it's good. And so let's force people to watch another one. Even if it's like shut on our iPhones. So Queeth pretty early on, I think Yorma pitched that. Queeth, and then it stuck. It was like, oh yeah, and his first name should definitely be Enos. How not?
It's I mean, I've been laughing about that since it came out.
God,
so
I had forgotten this, but the way we came up with how Cunt came to be was that we were making, I can't remember it was an SNL commercial, and I think Bill Hader was the maitre d' or the host at a restaurant. I came in and had to, we're I think just glorified extras in this commercial, so we're just sitting around most of the time messing around, and I signed Dr. Kuntz in the book just to make him laugh. And I'm pretty sure that's how that name came about.
Right.
Yeah.
So good. JT, do you have something?
No, go ahead.
And you're kind of, just to pivot a little bit, you're kind of a superstitious kind, or do you have kind of basically are you superstitious, and does that play into your life a lot?
I would say I'm probably it's more like OCD than superstition. Although that they're kind of cousins of each other, those two things probably. I do a lot of checking locks, checking to make sure stoves are off, checking to make sure water's not running. It's real pain in the ass getting out of a house with me, because I usually make my wife come with me and say, okay, watch me as I do my checklist, because if it's all checking things in patterns and
I think too, being in this business, kind of, because I have those kind of like tendencies as well, more on the superstition side, and I think being in this business kind of like fuels that in a weird way when you're sort of waiting for
stuff. Do you what are your superstitions?
I look at numbers a lot, and I like threes of numbers. If I see like 333, or I'll be like, oh, today's gonna be a good day. If I see 666, I'll like freak out.
Yeah. 666, like I was raised Catholic, so I
Yeah.
think between it, for sure 666, it's that's always like a number to avoid for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the devil's number.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It for sure is the devil's number.
But how did it become the devil's number?
Because of the Bible, and I don't know what. I wonder if I don't know the Bible well enough, but it must signify, there must
Mark
be
of the
a story
beast.
about six jackals and six. I don't know.
Right.
For sure,
Like 6 locusts and like
is in knowing the Bible and Iron Maiden well enough. I do know that 666 is the number of the beast.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there? Wait, is it the Omen that 666 is like in his head? Yeah, in the little kid's head.
It's engraved in his down piece.
Yeah.
Just says 666 on his scalp.
Yeah, I think they find it in his hair. Like that movie. That's one of my all-time favorite scary movies.
I've only seen the new one with Liev Schreiber.
Oh, really? Oh my God. The original is, I'm not.
No, trash it. I didn't like it that much. I think you're right.
I'm not sure if I saw it. I might have seen little parts of it, but I definitely saw the original, and I stand by the original.
That would be a huge bummer if you had a baby and it was the devil's baby.
I think so.
That'd be like worst case, because you still have to love it and try to raise it as best you could. But
we thought for a while that Mudbutt was maybe a dog devil baby. Like it really, like he did have. There's just this look in his eyes that's you can't read, but sometimes it reads as slightly demonic or majorly demonic.
Right.
But it's like, you can't really you can't communicate with human words, so it's like we don't know if he's barking out kill humans.
He's like, no, this is just how I look. I'm actually totally chill.
Yes.
That's true.
You guys have dogs?
No.
I wanted that. My mom has golden retrievers, which I love.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to get a dog for a couple of years, but I'm sort of just waiting for the right time to do it.
Yeah, I grew up with dogs, and then when I went to college, they stayed with my folks, and then I didn't have one again until I started dating the woman who's now my wife, and she had that one dog, and it's the best, but also it's a kind of a pain in the ass too. Like you certainly don't have the freedom that you did when you didn't have a dog. But now
That's
we have
what I worry about.
Yeah, so it's like we are all kinds of died down.
Yeah, how old's your baby now?
She's like 13 months.
Oh, fun.
Oh, she's awesome. it is the best.
Did you always want to be a dad, or did that sort of come
I'd be
later?
a dad way earlier. I thought I'd be a dad. You just kind of grow up thinking that whatever your parents do is probably what you'll do. I mean, unless your parents are mass murderers or something. So I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll get married at 23, like my parents, and have my first kid at 25, and then I was the second kid at 27. So that seemed normal to me, and then as I got a little bit older, I was like, oh my God, I'm falling behind. And then I started feeling like, in the same way that I kind of felt like, oh, maybe I'm just going to be a writer and gave up on acting. I just thought, oh, maybe it's not in the cards for me to be a dad. And then it just kind of, met this awesome woman, Olivia, and it all kind of went from there. So, yeah, but I thought I would have a kid way before 51.
Yeah, did you sort of, being in like Hollywood and stuff, did you ever have the mentality of like, oh, I gotta, be selfish for a while to sort of get to a certain level and then I can think about that stuff? Or you're always kind of just like, oh, I'd like to be a dad, I'm just waiting for the right person?
I don't think it was, it never was a conscious choice to choose career over family, but like you do just get really busy and you're working really hard, and it kind of is an unconscious choice, career over family. But I, certainly I feel like if I was in the right headspace and had met the right person earlier, I would have gotten married or something. But it just, everything works out the way it's supposed to, and I can't imagine it being different than the way that it has worked out, because it's, I'm super happy and have an awesome wife and this amazing little baby, and who knows, maybe we'll have another one.
Nice.
That'd be fun.
You got a full brood.
Yeah. Are you guys want to have families?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
I'd like
do.
to have a bunch of kids. I feel like I'm looking forward to like, and you can tell me if this clicks, but I feel like it does. Like, I'm looking forward to maybe not being like number one in my priority list and having something else that kind of supersedes me, but that it's also me, like it's got my DNA in there. So I feel extra incentivized to look after him or her. And
Oh yeah, I
don't know,
mean,
that sounds good.
Yes, it is. It's the most grounding thing to have a kid. It's, when I went to SNL when they let me host, which was super exciting, it was very stressful. Like, it's, you're coming back. I guess I had been on stage since 2010 when I left a couple times, like, being a part of Wig's opening monologue when she hosted, and just a couple little times coming back. But like it was a big deal in my head, and I was very stressed. I didn't want to like majorly blow it. And so each night I'd come home and just be really stressed, and then you'd see this old baby, and just everything goes woo, it's just your mind is instantly taken off of all the stresses of the world, and your priorities, it just reshifts your priorities, and it's awesome. It's really awesome.
Nice. When SNL, people say it's like a stressful kind of experience being on it, right? Like, you'll hear that from former cast members when they do interviews and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is it just because of the 1 week turnaround and then the flying without a net of the live of it? Like, what makes it feel, it almost feels like sports or something like that, in terms of like the pressure and the and the environment? Did it?
Oh yeah. No, I mean, there's so many different things that go into the stress of it. It's, you don't have a ton of time to write stuff. So it's this race to get stuff written and then, everything is, it's a pretty short week to put together a whole show, and you get used to the pressure of it, but it's, you only have one shot. You can do it perfectly all week, but if you blow it during the live show, that's the one that people see. So there's the stress of that, but you also kind of loosen up with that stuff, because it's, I feel like Lauren used to say that, or maybe this was just me. No, I think you would, or maybe it was Steve Higgins. Somebody said, why are you so stressed out if you make a mistake? People love mistakes. Like, we're doing a live show. That's fun for people to see mistakes. Not that you want to shoot for making a mistake, but like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Is something enjoyable for the audience to see, to remind them that this is a live show. So that was a good thing to hear. And then it really, loosened up the pressure.
Yeah, and I feel that in your performances, almost across the board, where there is like a fearlessness in it, where it seems like you're very unafraid of making a mistake or going outside of, like.
I'm glad that's coming across, because inside the person doing that sketch is a great fear of making a mistake. But yeah, I was so terrified for 4 or 5 years. I was super stressed out, like really, really bad case of stage fright. I came in with Fred Armisen. We came in the same year, and he was just instantly pumped to get up on stage, and I don't think he had any fear in him at all. And he just would. I was so I admired that aspect of him, and I was jealous of that, the thing in him that allowed him to be able to have fun as he was doing it. And I don't know that I would, sometimes you'd have fun up there, but I would have more fun like coming off after having a sketch that went well was fun. But for me, I would just be kind of locked in while doing it. My attitude was hardly ever having fun. It was more just like, okay, do it right, and then it'd be fun afterwards if it went well, and if it didn't, then it was horrifying for a couple of days, and then you move on to the next thing. But yeah, it was a couple times in my life I've really had a lot of fun doing stuff, but most of the time I'm just kind of overthinking stuff.
Right. Like when you did Nebraska, when you did Nebraska, and the Alexander Payne movie, that's probably like the most kind of contained character you've played, right?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I think so.
And so when you did you ever, coming from your like sketch and comedic background, I mean, it's still a comedy movie, but it's very like slice of life, and it doesn't have the same absurdity that kind of informs some of your other characters. How did that feel, playing something that was like a little bit smaller, I guess?
It was terrifying. I mean, I will say that in answering that question, there was another thing that I did, which was even more dramatic than Nebraska, and I got lucky enough to do it right before Nebraska. It was
that's nice.
Small Irish movie called Run and Jump, and this woman, Steph Green, asked me to be I play an American doctor going over to help out this Irish family. The father had some kind of like God, I can't remember now. Some kind of stroke, some kind of thing that changed his personality. So I was in kind of researching this kind of rare problem, rare affliction that he had, and it was this terrifying thing. So I did that, and then came back to the States because we shot it in Ireland. Then I came back and had a couple months before going off to make Nebraska. And having that experience was I got so lucky to be able to do that because it really prepared me. It was this very small thing. So I felt safe to take these chances. And it was a great experience. I loved how the movie turned out. This would have been back in like 2013 or 2012 maybe. But anyway, so going in then because Steph Green, I believe she had directed stuff before, but I think this was her first feature. So it was fun getting to do that, and both of us being new in a way doing this. Because I was terrified about, I was a huge Alexander Payne fan, and that was just it's a different thing going in with this well-known director who, it was just intimidating, and he's super nice and it makes you feel very comfortable. So, but the couple months before doing that were kind of like the couple months before starting SNL, where you're just like, I was so excited to have gotten the job, but I never wanted it to start. Like, I just, like, I don't want to actually have to do it. I just want to know that I wanted, the fun of being able to tell people I was doing it was awesome. But like, shit, having to actually do it was terrifying. But it ended up being a lot of fun. Alexander Payne's awesome, and Bruce Dern and June Squibb were just so full of knowledge, and they're just awesome.
It's so real too. Everything fits together in such a real way. Like it feels like a real husband and wife and father and
a lot of those people, I mean, those guys have been acting for years, but then a lot of the people that Alexander Payne uses are people who have never acted before, like they're actual farmers in Nebraska, or this woman who came in. There was just like it's people who've never acted, so he just is able to coax these super real, authentic parts from these people who are just kind of saying stuff the way they would say stuff out there as I don't know.
Yeah, they're not selling it like it's dialogue.
I just hit a brain jam.
Nice.
Could you tell?
No, it seems smooth over here.
Did it feel weird not going for laughs in that type, like pivoting to dramatic acting? Like, was it kind of, because I feel like with comedic acting, you're kind of, you have like something you're going for a laugh, but with dramatic, it's kind of like you're staying in the feeling. And I wonder if there's like if that's a weird transition.
It's very weird. It is the first couple times you do it, it's like, I don't know, the best way to describe it is you just feel like super exposed. It's like, because comedy is like the comedy stuff, you're doing characters that aren't you. And so like when you're trying to portray these kind of more grounded characters, you feel like you're exposing, like you feel like people are seeing the real you a little bit, like oh shit, now people know what I'm like when I'm actually angry or what, they're, I don't know, it's just it's hard to describe, but you just feel very exposed and vulnerable, and it definitely takes a while to get used to, especially if you come up and your whole system is like, oh, you've succeeded if you get a laugh, and if you don't, you have your own, you can tell when you're doing a good job, and with this, it's not, there's no, you just get to the end of a take and people are like, oh, I thought that was good. And after a while, you feel you're able to develop your own system of, if you feel like you did a good job on a take. But it takes a while because you're, for everything, like you start out at the Groundlings, you're on stage and you got to be a little bit bigger because you're in the theater, you're trying to get this shit across to people who are sitting out there and don't have a TV screen in front of them. Then you go to SNL and it's like, okay, you got to still make people laugh, but you probably are gonna alter your face so that you're not being quite as big because people, there are close-ups and people get it a little easier and you don't want to seem too hammy, and then moving on to something like this where you're just like, you've been workshopping your face and how big or small it gets. You start doing stuff that's more grounded and you're just, I don't know, my calibration, you got to recalibrate everything and it takes a while to figure that out. And it's so the tricky stuff about Nebraska was like, when there'd be times that I needed to tell a joke.
Oh,
There'd
interesting.
be a couple things that were jokes that most of the time it's just like conversational stuff and like relationship with the dad. But then when I was telling a joke, it's like, I know how to tell a joke. Well, that's debatable, but so it's like, oh, what level of
How funny is this guy that
yeah,
how funny is this guy that I'm playing? Because he's not as funny as I am,
right.
but he has to be funny enough for like the little world that he's in. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's got to be like, it was just little stuff like that, which I think now I would go back. I don't know. I don't think I'd be as stressed doing that stuff, and stuff seemed to make a little more sense. But I was going in just totally flying blind, especially to this Run and Jump. But like, in Run and Jump, which is the Irish movie, it's there are cute moments that are funny, but it's even more weighted towards drama. In fact, I would say it's completely weighted towards drama, and there are just some light, fun moments during it. But like, it's weird because a lot of times, you'll be doing a scene, and at the very end of the scene, they want you to kind of, look out pensive,
Whoa, that's
then
powerful.
you hold on it for a long time, and it feels so weird, and you just have to trust that they're gonna cut away they're not gonna let you hanging out to dry, because sometimes I'll see things where they just hang on those shots for way too long, and you're like, oh, I feel bad for that actor, because you go in trusting that a director is gonna, and I don't know. But in the case of Run and Jump, she had me hold for sometimes a long time, just so she would, she could use as much or as little as she wanted, and then she, I thought did a really good job of choosing the lengths of those things. But you get used to it, and by the way, you use a lot of that shit with MacGruber stuff too. Like it's
You turn it up a little bit to play it for
everything like everything kind of goes into your little pot of experiences, and and it just you learn little tricks that all kinds of stuff are helpful, and kind of drama stuff helps with comedy stuff helps with drama. It's all basically the same thing.
They're all just slight alterations of the other thing. Is it hard for you to watch yourself?
Yes. but I've gotten better at it because when you're in the editing booth,
It's brutal. We're doing it right now. It's hard.
oh yeah,
Sorry, keep going.
it takes a long time to get used to it, but then you just kind of develop a callus. So it was. I got a chance to like we all kind of helped edit the MacGruber movie, and then at Last Man on Earth, I got to I spent hours and hours with the editors on each episode. Probably I don't know. I would guess 20 hours over maybe 40 hours on each episode over it'd be spread out over it's some crazy amount of time where you're watching. I mean, a lot of it was just watching my own shitty acting and trying to figure out a way to like turn it watchable and it's you just get used to it and you get but it's I still there are some things that are harder to watch than others, but I'm used to it a little bit more and in the early going I would do a lot of cringing when I would watch myself and I don't cringe as much. I know there are people out there who probably disagree that with me and cringe quite a bit when they watch stuff that I do, but like I think some of it is like you get used to seeing yourself, but then also I don't know, you theoretically everybody's getting slightly better at knowing what made them cringe the last time they did something and avoiding that stuff. So I not saying that I'm great. I just am better at avoiding stuff that makes me cringe when I watch myself. But there probably are still a lot of things that make people cringe when they watch me, but they just are not for some reason making me cringe.
Nice.
But it's a weird experience. So you guys you have a hard time watching yourselves?
Whenever we get something from an editor being like, I have a cut, I just get this jolt of nervousness, like, oh, I don't want to see the cut. But I found that exposing myself more and more, like basically what you're saying, you develop a callus, exposing yourself more and more to it sort of helps smooth it out. But that first kind of like, oh, we've got a cut ready for you to see, and you're like it's terrifying.
Oh, and it's always disappointing. I mean, very rarely do you get a first cut where you're not kind of bummed out. And this sounds like, and the editors that I've worked with are fucking awesome. But like, you just have in your head a very specific way, usually, that you picture it all playing out. Mm-hmm. And even if it's like, they could be showing you a cut that's better than the cut you have in your head, and your brain's not going to accept it because of the way that you have it in your head. So it's like, sometimes you get, a lot of times you'll get in there and you'll go, oh, this is how I had the version I thought in my head. And you can change stuff around so that it's that version. Sometimes it's better. And sometimes you're like, oh, wait, oh yeah, you had the best version of it. So it's just, but the first time you watch it, you just gotta, not only are you like dealing with the what you had in your head of what the scene was going to be, but also you're looking at yourself and you're so you're so critical of yourself in a way that you're not critical of other people. It takes a while to get used to that.
Yeah, because I feel like when I watch a cut, my eyes just dart directly to me. And there's a lot of instances where I'll be like, oh, I want to make a change, but then I'll sort of have to step back and be like, I think that this change I want is only because I can just see me in the scene. Whereas basically what you're saying, where it's like you gotta be like, I think I need to put my trust in the editors on this one because I think I'm just watching myself and I'm not seeing what's best for the whole cut.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's good with MacGruber. It's good because we, John and Yorma and I, we all get together with the editors, and our buddy Dave Noel, who's kind of turned into the fourth musketeer of the MacGruber group, and so there are times when I'm just like, I think that what I've done here, I fucking hate that take. It's so bad, but then I'm me. So if you guys think that this is good and that I'm just overthinking it, please overrule me. But I just have to bring up, this seems a little too over the top, or like, I think this one's flat or whatever, it's just hard to, so it's really nice to have, a committee in those instances. Like sometimes, like, oh, I don't like this, or I do love this, or whatever. But sometimes you just are lost because it's too close to the bone.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
Guys, I'm interrupting this podcast, letting you know once again that we're on Patreon. Check out bonus episodes of Going Deep with Chad JT, solo episodes, the classics at patreon.com/Chad Goes Deep. New episodes weekly. We also have upcoming shows. We're going to be at the Irvine Improv, Orange County. What up? Next week, April 6th at 8 p.m. For tickets to that show and all upcoming shows, go to chadjt.com. We're also about to be by the legends at Coinbase. Coinbase, what up, guys? If you're into crypto, if you're looking to get into the crypto world, everyone's talking about these days. And personally, I recommend diving in a little bit if you haven't already, because it's the future, it's now, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. So the best way to get into it is through Coinbase. I have Coinbase. I love it. Makes it super easy and simple. And anytime I've had an issue, they're quick to come and solve it. Their customer service is excellent. And now's the time to get into the cryptocurrency craze. Now's the time to start getting involved. Coinbase makes it quick and easy to start your own portfolio and learn to trade like a pro. Guys, if you want to level up your financial portfolio, why not try cryptocurrency? And the best way to do it is through Coinbase. They offer a trusted and easy to use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. For a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/go-deep. Sign up at coinbase.com/go-deep for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/go-deep. Finally, we're about to be by the legends at Manscaped. Manscaped, thank you so much for keeping our trims pure, for looking after our hogs, for making sure that our dinks are looking fresh and clean, because you got a dong and it has pubes, and you got to make sure those pubes are looking fresh and snazzy. Yeah, that's the word I'm going to use, fresh and snazzy. The best way to do it is get the Lawnmower 4.0. This elite electric trimmer now serves over 4 million men worldwide. That's a lot of aerodynamic pants potatoes. Dude, nice words. They use ceramic blades, skin-safe technology. They got the Performance Package 4.0. You get their body wash, their ball deodorant, their trimmer, their nose hair trimmer, all the perfect stuff for your dink. And I trim my pubes, and honestly, I was running faster. And I want the same for you. So April is draft season, but it's also Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of the We Save Balls initiative. Head over to manscaped.com, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GODEEP. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code GODEEP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code GODEEP. Turn your Mr. Irrelevant to a first-round pick with Manscaped. All right, guys, let's get back to the show.
For our last segment, we answer some listeners' questions. So I'll read off some cues and then we give advice.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the first question. Mega Babe in the surf lineup. My dogs. I write to you today to set my summer on the right trajectory. I just moved back to the East Coast and have been tearing it up on some water, on some winter grovel. It's heating up here in Charleston, and the people are returning to the beach, including this mega babe who shreds. I was out one day last week, and I paddled over to talk to her, and we cut it up for a min. But then a wave rolls in, and we have to do what our heart yearns and charge down the line. We surf the same break, so I'll see her out there next swell. My question is, how do I get my shot with this queen if Lady Ocean is jealous and keeps throwing nice sets our way, mid-convo, that we can't turn down? Any help is much appreciated, my dogs. Also, shout out to Credog and Boys Club homies in Seattle. Respectfully, Turn Dog.
I mean, to me, it seems like if Mother Ocean or Lady Ocean, I like the more that they're just out there in the same space, and I think it's the time will reveal itself when he's supposed to introduce himself to this person. If he goes out a couple more times surfing and doesn't get a chance to meet her, she'll probably know that he's there, and then it'll feel really nice. But like, it might be the best thing in the world if he can't meet her for a little bit, because then it won't seem rushed, or he won't seem like he's I've lost the word. I'm having a brain jam again, but there's no rush. If it's meant to be, it's gonna happen. And so if it happened, he's meant to be with this person, maybe it won't be for a month.
Yeah, I think
maybe he'll meet somebody else somewhere else that's the right person.
Yeah, too. I think too, if you see an opportunity, if she has like a really good wave, that's your intro right there. Just say like, that was a fat
advice than I am.
No.
Let you guys start, and then I'll just
No, I think your advice is really good.
Yeah.
Chad, what do you say? I'm not an experienced surfer. What do you say to someone when they have a nice wave?
Like, I think just be nonchalant, be like, those are some sick turns. And then she'll be like, oh, thank you. And you're like, yeah. And then I think it flows from there. But I think, if someone tells me I had some good turns, or like, oh, I know. So when you turn, like you spray on the wave, if you have a good spray, be like, wow, you had some like really sick spray on that last wave. And then you could throw in, like, if you spray someone who's paddling out, you totally baptize that guy right there. And I think that's a good intro, because if someone told me that, I would fall in love pretty easily, I think.
God, I am the worst surfer. I'm a perennial beginner, but I will say I do my favorite thing on Instagram is kook slams. I freaking love kook slams. I was just watching some last night. Oh my God, some of those, this one where this guy just let his surfboard go and just slammed into this guy's head. Oh,
I think I saw that one.
It was a recent one.
Yeah, he comes out of a wave or something. He comes out of a barrel, and I think there was and
then a guy kite surfing that not only is it like he gets pulled out of the water and gets super high up there, and then another person's kite surfing, and this guy gets tangled up in the other person's kite, and then everything comes down. I hope he's still alive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's very far away, so I can't tell if it's a man or a woman.
Kite surfing.
Okay, sorry. More.
No, I love it. All right. What up, Stoke Council and any honored guests? I'm ready to ask a very important question that's been on my mind for a while. I've been dating my GF for about 3 months now, and I've known her for about 5. I think I really do love her now and want to tell her. The problem is I've never had a girlfriend before or told a girl I love her, so I'm at a loss for how to go about this. I'm pretty confident she would say it back, and she seems to be very into me, and our flame hasn't died down since we started dating. Do I do it mid-stroke after I tongue dart her, or should I take her to a steakhouse and tell her after she finishes an 8-ounce filet? Or is it way too early to say it? Any help will be greatly appreciated, and I know I can count on you guys to give me the right advice.
Okay, this one I do have the right advice.
Nice.
There's don't, it's never too early or too late. It's like when you're feeling it. The main thing is don't make her feel any pressure to say it back. This is like, you let her know how you feel. If she's not ready to say it back, it doesn't mean she doesn't love you. She's just like, everyone's on their own time. So just if you feel like you want to share that with her, that's awesome. But let her know, but don't expect anything in return. Just put it out there in whatever way you want to put it out there. It doesn't, just say it however you want to say it. It's a really nice thing, and she'll love that you're opening up to her, but just don't, like, the worst thing to do would be go, aren't you gonna tell me? Aren't you, like, if she doesn't want to tell you yet, it's like, in fact, it might even be good to say, man, I don't expect you to say anything. If you're not ready to say it or whatever, I just want you to know how I feel. That's my advice.
I love that. I think that's perfect. Yeah,
Oh, that's 100%. Yeah, doing something nice without expectation of like reciprocity or something. That's always the move. And then I think it also makes you, not only did you get to say this thing that feels so good to you and feels so good for the other person, but it'll feel doubly good if she doesn't feel like you did it because you just wanted it back or something like that. Like she'll be like, oh, this is just a loving dude who just wants to tell me how he feels. He's not doing it because he needs to hear it back. That's it's a double win, I think.
Yeah, and the thing you don't want to feel is like that she's just saying it to you because you said it to her. So like, you would, I don't know, you'll know. It sounds like she is into it as well. So most likely she'll say it back. But if she doesn't, who cares? She'll like you even more if you don't pressure her into saying it back.
And then I think too, like the moment will come. You'll just get so overwhelmed with feelings. She'll do something cute and you'll just scream it from the rooftops, I love you. And then I don't think you got to, I mean, you can think about how you want to say it, but I think the moment will speak to you inside your body and you're like, all right, this is the moment where I got to say it. I don't think you got to plan like where you're going to be geographically when you say it. Just know that it's going to come out at some point.
Yeah.
You won't be able to help it. It'll just burst out of you.
Yeah.
Last cue. Hey boys, just a quick cue for the Lords. I'm running low on Stoke because I don't have many close friends anymore. I used to have a lot of friends, but grew distant during college, and every friend from college moved back home for the most part. It's even hard to get a bro to grab a brew with. I don't really want to join a club or a sports thing because, to tell you the truth, I think it's kind of corny, and I think it'd ruin the fun with how competitive I can be. And friends from work are always sketchy. How do I get more bros? Starting to get depressing over here, boys. Love the pod. Keep killing it.
I mean, that's I will say that after I graduated from college, we talked about before, I was up in Northern California for high school and everything before that. And that's yeah, I understand that feeling. Like I remember a lot of people moved away, and for a while you're like, it does, you do feel a little lonely and isolated, and especially like with COVID stuff, I imagine that's I have this fiance, now wife, so I was always felt, I didn't feel as isolated, but still was feeling isolated. So like, I understand that feeling, but I think it just kind of naturally will happen. Just be open to, I don't know, just say yes to things. Like just be open to new experiences, and you'll meet people. You're not going to meet people if you go home and watch TV every night. But by the way, if going home and watching TV every night makes you happy, do that. But like, if you want to meet people, I don't know, just say yes when somebody invites you to something, even if like if there's some dude at work that invites you to do something and you don't necessarily like that guy, there might be 10 of your future best friends at this thing that are, you never know until you get there. And maybe everyone at that thing sucks. And then you just had one night where you hung out with a bunch of dickheads, but you just move, but maybe you meet a bunch of lifelong friends. So just be open to experiences. Sounds like you are. So yeah, just let it happen, and don't put too much. This is a normal thing. This is a normal part of life. You gotta be fine.
Yeah, and I think too, he was like saying like he doesn't want to do intramural sports or like hang out with his work friends, which I totally understand. I really do get it. But I think you might have to take some contrary action. Like whatever you're feeling in terms of like shutting down potential social avenues, I would fight against your instincts and go do that stuff anyways, just because like you were saying, you never know who could be there or what could, even you disliking it could lead to you connecting with someone there who also dislikes it. So I think you just got to be out there as much as possible.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds good too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I find whenever I put myself out there and stuff, like you were saying, even if you don't meet new friends, you always get new stories and new experiences. And I'm always happy I did go out into the world as opposed to staying home, when I didn't want to. So, and I'm pretty introverted. So I think, I prefer to stay at home, but whenever I do force myself to get out, I never regret it. So.
Yeah, you're totally right. There are sometimes it takes a little motivation for me to get out. And I would say without fail, once you just kind of get through the first couple minutes of being at a place, it's always is like, oh, that was really fun. I'm happy I did that.
Yeah.
There's at least one benefit to every night that you were maybe not super up for doing, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very rare that something is a complete complete disaster. Not disaster, that's the wrong word. You guys all I don't know why I'm adding on. You guys said it perfectly.
No, this is
Yeah.
people are gonna be psyched to get advice from you, dude. This is big time. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. It's such an honor.
Yeah, truly
oh my
an
God,
honor.
thank you. I would love to come back and talk some more. You guys are really fun to talk to, and
thank you.
I'm sorry I didn't ask more questions to you guys. So next time I'll interview you guys a little
Whoa. All right, I'll start
Sounds
prepping.
good.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
I'll ask for advice from the listeners.
Yeah, good call.
Oh, cool. That
Yeah.
would be fun.
Yeah.
That's a good idea to flip it and we'll just do an advice where they give us advice. That's a good idea. Yeah.
And let me know if you come out to Albuquerque at all.
Yeah, my mom's in Santa Fe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, shit. You know how close we are. So
Yeah.
come up and take me to Santa Fe and show me around.
Yeah. We'll go. We'll get some steaks.
Food is so good out here.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very into the New Mexico food.
Oh yeah.
Delicious.
So good. Yeah.
I will tell Mudbud I said later.
Yeah.
They really work themselves. Look at him now.
Is he passed out?
Is that Mudbud? Whoa. Totally different energy. That guy can do it all.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he's dead. My butt. Oh, he's awake. My
Oh, that
butt.
would've been-
Oh, there he is. Hey, butt.
Yeah.
When I said that, he just went, "Oh, hi, buddy. You want to say goodbye?" Oh, he wants to say goodbye.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
Later, mud butt. Good to meet you, dude.
Well, have fun with the movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
good
thank you
luck.
very much. Thank you, and thanks again for having me on.
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Oh, just say bye. Oh,
Thanks, man.
All right.
All right.
Keep in touch.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds good.
absolutely.
Okay.
Have a great one.
Goodbye from my buddy. I'm sure Ross is sending a goodbye too. Okay. Thanks again.
See ya.
All right.
What a nice guy.
He's the nicest.
Truly a prince.
Yeah.
Chad, what is your beef of the week?
My beef of the week is with the extra sheet in the bed. You have like the mattress cover, the fitted sheet, and then they always put like an extra sheet, and then you have the cover. I hate that sheet. I never use that sheet, and I don't even sleep with it anymore. But they always put that in there, and it ends up just at the foot of the bed because it's like too much sheet, and then you're just pushing it to the it always ends up at the edge of my bed. It's just too much. I
100%.
think we need to really repurpose our sheet count in bed, because that extra sheet is dog shit and doesn't do anything for me. I don't even like it when it's hot and that's the only sheet, because even when it's hot, it's like still not enough sheet because it's just like too thin, and you're like this is no way to sleep. This is horse shit. And so I think it's just a ploy by a big bed to make you just buy more sheets. And I'm here to say, nah, you don't have to do that. And I don't buy that extra sheet. And whenever I get like a set of sheets, I burn that shit.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, so you're just like a straight comforter, dude?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Big
what's up.
time. Yeah.
It's powerful of you to like kind of upend the status quo in that way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dude, my beef of the week is with terminology to describe alternative lifestyles. Like, I do a lot of mushrooms, but I would never call it microdosing. I'm just like, yo, like if I'm gonna call it anything, I'll just say I'm a drug addict because that feels more raw, I guess. And then like, I think it's cool when people want to date multiple people, but like I would never call it poly. I would just tell people I have herpes. And I feel like that's like a better way of getting that message across. I always feel like if you're doing stuff that's outside the norm, I don't want to make it sound like highfalutin. I just want it to sound like, like I'm almost being self-deprecating about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like that stuff is kind of cool and kind of not cool to me. And I don't want to, and I'll let someone else make the judgment on that. I don't want to give it like a cool label. I'll just be like, no, I'll give you the straight bottom of it. And then it's up to you where you place it.
Yeah. I like that. Too many labels these days.
It's crazy, right? It's like,
it's hard to keep track.
And then I kind of feel like people will look back on those stuff in like 30 years and be like, how we think of the term swingers now, where you kind of think swingers were like, I think we kind of look back on them like they were a little silly, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure at the time they were like, we're swingers, and they thought it sounded super cool. But then 30 years from then, it sounds a little silly. And I'm like, if you're committing to all these labels, just know that in 30 years, people are going to be like, you're going to be part of a group that people are probably going to be poking fun of in retrospective film and literature.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to, I just got my dukes up. I'm like, I'm not going to let you box me in like that. Chad, who's your babe of the week?
My babe of the week is Disney podcast. So I touched on last week about how, I was listening to news shit, and it was just ruining my day. And I was like, why am I even playing into this stuff? You know, it's it really is of no benefit to my life, and was affecting my you know, it was affecting my days. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna listen to podcasts about Disneyland. You know, how Space Mountain was built, how Pirates of the Caribbean was built. You know, secrets of the Matterhorn. You know, Disney conspiracy theories. You know what's really going on inside of the Matterhorn. And my days are so much better because of it, you know, because I'm just putting all my energy into the happiest place on earth. And that happiness is bouncing back into my life. And so I'm just here to say to everyone, it's like, you know what? You don't have to know what's going on in the world. You can just know what's happening at Disneyland. And I think you'll be much happier.
For sure. Dude, what you absorb affects your outlook 100%. We're sensitive
Totally.
creatures. Dude, my baby of the week is Amy Landecker. She's an actress from Transparent. She was in an episode of Louie where he almost gets beat up by a high school bully. And she's also in an episode of Curb where I think Larry's competing with like Rosie O'Donnell for her affection. And I just think she is just one of the ultimate babes. Great actress. Always super grounded in her performance. And always like in Transparent, she plays someone who's like looks like they have it all together, but is pretty erratic. And I love that kind of character. And I think that's like a really hard thing to portray. And she just drills it. So Amy Landecker, huge fan.
Hell yeah.
Chad, who's your legend of the week?
My legend of the week is this new YouTube channel, Flav City, with Bobby Parrish.
I've been seeing the suggestions on our shared YouTube account.
Yeah, Flav City. So he's like this dude who I think he's a chef, and he just goes to grocery stores and like points out different food products, and he's like basically points out the ones that are healthy for you. He'll be like, you know, this will say healthy, but it's like, but they've got canola oil in there. They've got, you know, they've got canola oil. It's got natural flavors. When you ever see natural flavors, that's never a good thing because it's basically stuff they don't want to tell you about. So he'll list off all the things at the grocery store that have sort of the more toxic chemicals in them that are bad for your body. And if anything, it's just like a pleasant thing to watch. And also it's very educational. So now whenever I go to the grocery store, I sort of have like an idea of like what I want to buy that's sort of like, because I've learned through experimentation that the quality of your food and like all that stuff is most important. And that's what affects you the most. So if you're able to, and through this guy, you're able to sort of hone in on what's best for you so that you're really able to sort of tighten up your intake and, you know, avoid all those gnarly chemicals that big food is putting in there. Because I think that's the biggest culprit in terms of what's getting people sick and stuff that people just don't really think about. And he also goes to like fast food restaurants, and he'll point out that, you know, the best fast food restaurants and like which of their products you can get that are on the relatively healthy side. It's actually really surprising, some of the stuff. He went to Taco Bell and just ripped it to shreds, which I'm like,
Whoa.
makes sense because I can't eat Taco Bell anymore because I just like, you know, just shit my pants. So
Damn.
yeah.
Hate to see you crap your pants. Bums me out.
Yeah.
Dude, my legend of the week is Bryan Cranston, actor.
Nice.
I saw a play, dude. I saw this play called Power of Sale.
Oh, that's right. You saw him live?
I saw him live. He was fantastic. He plays like an old white fogey professor at Harvard who's like kind of jealous of his like BIPOC students for surpassing him in like cultural importance. And he invites like a white nationalist to come debate him at Harvard. And but he's not, it seems like he's doing it just to stay relevant, but there's even like he's got trickier and darker motivations. It's really good. And I just think Bryan Cranston, he's unbelievable at playing characters who are falling apart. Like,
Mhm.
like when he's just losing it and like the whole world's crumbling around him and he's trying to keep it together, he's just in the zone. And I think what he's so good at when he's doing that is he's really good at playing characters that are falling apart, but their biggest motivation is self-preservation. And that
Yeah.
comes through so clear in his performance. And it's an interesting thing to do. And he just drills it.
Nice.
Chat, what's your quote of the week?
My quote of the week is I gotta do MacGruber. MacGruber don't play like homie. Homie don't play like that.
Nice. My quote of the week is from Power of Sale, the play I saw. So it has this one line that's such a great analogy and a great way to like frame a certain conversation that's been happening a lot. So the old white fogey professor, he's like jealous of his students who are taking his slot in the culture, and they're all from like different demos than him, and he can't quite get his head around it. And then one of his students is like, what's the rule of nautical law when passing in the harbor? And he goes, if you're under power of engine, you have to defer to those who are under power of sail to go first. And I was like, whoa. And then so that just means the writer was like in Cape Cod probably for a weekend, was learning about boats, and was like, oh, that's a really good way to think about like deference in our culture towards like letting other people take the spot that they previously couldn't have because they didn't have all the institutional power behind them. And I was like, dude, that's fucking fire, dog. We didn't come up
Nice.
with that shit.
Hell yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Chat, what's your phrase of the week for getting after it?
My phrase of the week for getting after it is dude, let's make this bacon burnt.
Ooh. Mine is vanilla latte double shot.
Hell yeah. All right.
All right, sweet.
That's a fun pod.
That was great, man. It's so cool to talk to Will Forte. What a legend.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Aaron, thank you, dude. You're a beast.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
All right, guys.
right.
Keep writing reviews. Helps the pod. Check out our Patreon. Become a patron for bonus episodes. They're classics. We're bringing it back to old school style.
I love it. Can't wait to do more. It's really fun.
Yeah. And yeah, see you guys next week.
All right, I'll see you at 11:30.
Yes, sir.
All right, see you soon.
All right, later.
Boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap.
Hand me the screws.
Boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom,
Guys,
boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom,
guys.
boom, bap, 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 boom,
What is your beef of the week? Aaron, who's your beef of the week? Strider, who's your legend of the week? Joe, what's your quote of the week? Chad, what is your beef of the week? Aaron, who's your beef of the week? Strider, who's your legend of the week? Joe, what's your quote of the week? Chad, what is your beef of the week? Aaron, who's your beef of the week? Strider, who's your legend of the week? Joe, what's your quote of the week? Chad, what is your beef of the week? Aaron, who's your beef of the week? Strider, who's your legend of the week? Joe, what's your quote of the week?